Abotitem was a village hidden deep in the forest, where even the boldest hunters never whistled at night, for they feared that the spirits would answer. The villagers lived by rules handed down for generations: never fetch firewood after sunset, never step into the grove without an elder, and never, ever speak carelessly of the dead. But Ekaette, the palm wine tapper's daughter, was unlike other children. Where they played Ao under the moon, she strayed near the thick trees that bordered the ancestral grove. She would sit there for hours, head tilted, eyes wide, as though listening. One evening, her mother, Ekaette, called sharply. "Child, do you want the dead to follow you home? That place is not for play." Ekaette turned slowly, her eyes shining in the fading light. "Mama," she whispered, "the grove is not silent. The wind carries voices. They are calling, softly, softly." Her mother dropped the bundle of firewood she carried, fear clutching her throat. She struck the girl lightly on the arm. "Don't ever say that again," she hissed. "Those who hear voices from that grove do not live long." But as they walked back to the hut, Ekaette kept glancing over her shoulder, smiling faintly. As if the trees were smiling back. One night, scratching sounds scraped Ekaette's hot wall. Then a whisper seeped in, low and cold. "Child of blood, come to us." Her body moved against her will, carrying her barefoot into the grove. The moonlight bent, the trees groaned, and faces appeared in the back, hollow eyes, cracked mouths, all murmuring at once. "We are the whispering ancestors. Forgotten. Hungry. You will carry us." Ekaette's dreams turned violent. She saw corpses dancing in silence, rivers of blood, drums beating with no drummers. By day, she spoke in tongues unknown, her small voice swelling into the deep rumble of men long dead. Her eyes sometimes glazed white. Shadows slithered around her mat at night. The villagers whispered. "She is possessed. No, she carries the dead." Dragged to the square, Ekaette was made to face the chief priest. He stood tall in chalk and raffia, but his staff shook as he demanded. "Child, whose stone do you carry?" Ekaette smiled with cracked lips. Her mouth opened, and 1,000 voices thundered. "We are the ancestors. Through her, we rise again." The villagers fled, leaving dust behind. Even the priest trembled. The priest declared a test: Ekaette must enter Idimto, the cursed river. If she was a liar, the waters would devour her. The village gathered, charms tied to their waists. She stepped into the river. The water boiled. Pale hands dragged her under. Women screamed, then silence. Moments later, Ekaette rose, standing on the black water. Her eyes were pure white. The river echoed with voices. "She is ours. The living belong to the dead." After that night, Abotitem changed. Goats were found drained of blood. Newborns wailed at empty corners of huts. Hunters lost their way and returned days later, teeth missing. The whispers grew louder, demanding appeasement. One midnight, Ekaette's voice carried through the village. "Bring us blood, or we shall take it." The first human sacrifice was offered at the grove. The next morning, the yam stopped rotting, the streams ran clear again. But peace came at a terrible price. The priest tried to contain the horror. A binding ritual was performed. The villagers swore never to forget the dead, spilling goat's blood on the sacred stones. But Ekaette's body twisted as the voices screamed through her. "Not enough. Not enough." Her mother wept, clutching her, but Ekaette no longer recognized her family. She had become a vessel neither living nor dead. Years passed. Ekaette grew but remained untouched by age. Her eyes stayed pale, her skin cold. Children whispered that she walked without casting a shadow. At night, huts shook as whispers echoed them. Sometimes, villagers woke to see dead relatives standing by their mouths moving silently. One hunter who mocked the rituals was found at dawn, stiff, his chest carved with Nsibidi symbols that glowed faintly before fading. When Ekaette grew old, though her face never truly aged, she vanished into the grove one night. A young boy swore he saw the trees split open like jaws, swallowing her whole. That night, the village heard laughter, weeping, and the sound of hundreds of feet marching in the darkness. Crops withered. Streams blackened. The priest hung himself at the shrine, leaving a message, "We are already dead." Abbot Itam did not survive. Years after Ekaette vanished into the grove, the village rotted away. The huts leaned inward as though something pressed down on them. Grass swallowed the compounds, and snakes coiled on abandoned hearthstones where fires once burned. The air smelled of damp earth and old blood. Travelers avoided the path, for they swore that once you entered Abbot Itam after dark, you would never walk out the same. One rainy season, a band of hunters from a neighboring town dared to enter. They laughed at the warnings, saying, "How can the dead harm the living? We carry charms, we carry cutlasses." But when night fell, the laughter died. The hunters woke to whispers weaving through the air, coming from nowhere and everywhere at once. Their fire crackled low, though no wind blew. Shadows lengthened unnaturally, moving even when no one did. Then came the voices. "Do not forget us. Do not forget, do not forget." The men clutched their cutlasses. One tried to pray, but his own father's voice hissed the words back at him, twisting them. Another saw a dead sibling sitting beside him, smiling with empty eyes. By morning, only 2 hunters stumbled out of Abbot Itam, pale and broken. They spoke of faces pressed into the bark of trees, of children's laughter in the dark, of hands tugging at their ankles beneath the soil. One of them clawed his own ears until blood ran, screaming, "They won't stop whispering." After that, no one entered Abbot Itam again. The path grew wild, swallowed by the forest. But on stormy nights, people in nearby villages still claimed to hear voices carried by the wind, hundreds of them, chanting, laughing, weeping. And if anyone dares to whistle back, the voices answer. Because the whispering ancestors never leave. They wait. Hungry.